The historical relationship between ancient Israel and Egypt, as described in the Bible, has been a subject of extensive study and debate among historians and archaeologists. While the biblical narrative of the Israelites' sojourn in Exodus from Egypt is well known, the archaeological and historical evidence for this event is more complex and less direct. Here are a few key points regarding non-biblical evidence of Israel and Egypt. 1. Merneptah Stele. One of the earliest known references to Israel outside the Bible is the Merneptah Stele, dating from the reign of Pharaoh Merneptah around 1209 BCE. This Egyptian inscription mentions Israel in a context suggesting it was a group or tribe located in Canaan, not Egypt. However, it does not provide details about the Israelites' presence in Egypt. 2. Archaeological evidence. Archaeological evidence for a large-scale presence of Israelites in Egypt, as described in the Exodus story, has not been conclusively found. Egyptian records from the period when the Exodus is supposed to have happened, around the 15th to 13th centuries BCE, do not mention the Israelites specifically. 3. Cultural and linguistic influences. Some scholars point to cultural and linguistic influences between ancient Egypt and Israel as indirect evidence of contact or presence. For example, certain aspects of Israelite culture, religion, and language show Egyptian influences, which could suggest some form of historical interaction. 4. Documentary hypothesis. Some biblical scholars, working under the framework of the documentary hypothesis, propose that Egyptian names and cultural references in the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible, indicate a historical connection, though not necessarily as described in the biblical narrative. 5. Joseph's story. The story of Joseph, found in the book of Genesis, includes detailed descriptions of life in Egypt. While this account is not corroborated by Egyptian records, it shows familiarity with Egyptian customs and geography, suggesting some form of historical knowledge. 6. Absence of direct evidence. The lack of direct archaeological or textual evidence from Egypt mentioning the Israelites' presence or the Exodus event has led many scholars to view the biblical narrative as a theological and literary work, rather than a straightforward historical account. In conclusion, while there are some indirect hints and suggestions of contact between ancient Israel and Egypt, there is no verified historical record outside the Bible that conclusively documents the Israelites' presence in Egypt as described in the biblical narrative. The historical relationship between these two ancient civilizations remains a complex and debated topic in scholarly circles.